Hello, my skull crusher, and we're watching reaction top 10 girls dolls. In the background, my sister's painting. So if you hear sound, that's my sister. So let's get started. 3, 2, 1, let's go.
In the comments of my top 10 cursed objects video, a few keen viewers pointed out the lack of dolls on the list. Well, I was saving them for this special video, the top 10 cursed dolls. Number 10. Pupa, the haunted doll. Pupa is a doll just over a foot tall, with a blue dress and oversized matching blue bow on top of her blonde curls. The original owner of Pupa was given the doll at the young age of 5 years old and had her up until 2005. She only had one owner to actually play with her. The young girl cherished the doll all her life and travelled with her from Italy during World War II to the United States, where she stays tonight.
Yeah.
When her owner died, Pupa was put into a display case in her home, and it has since then been reported that she does not like it. Tapping on the glass, pushing other things nearby in the display case away from her.
That's a messed up doll right there.
When the family comes to check on her, they find that her hand is firmly pressed against the glass, her legs crossed when she is not left in that position. Even on some accounts, there has been child handprints smudged and the words "Pupa no" on the display glass. Number 9. Mandy the doll.
Mandy the doll!
Mandy is an antique porcelain baby doll from the 1900s and is over 90 years old. She has a cracked face and a little baby sheep toy and currently resides in a British Columbian museum. Before she was donated, her owners would hear a baby crying in the middle of the night. But upon investigating, they found no baby, only an open window and Mandy. When she was placed in the museum, at first she had no official spot and would float from spot to spot. Things would go missing, pens, papers, lunches. Some would appear, but some would never come back. And when she did find spots, it was found she couldn't sit with others and she would have to have her own display case. She would often harm other dolls, but when she would be placed alone, she would throw temper tantrums and papers would be thrown everywhere. Electrical equipment would malfunction. Other times, guests and staff had found her eyes watching them, and have even reported seeing her blink as they walked by her. Number 8. Amanda, the haunted doll. Amanda is a rather mysterious doll, as not a lot could be found.
Creepy face.
Other than she was sold
on
eBay over 3 years ago. And since then, she's been passed along from house to house, owner to owner, until she found a home in the Atlanta, Georgia museum.
Let's make this smaller.
In some homes, if she found that she liked you, she would cause you no harm and simply rest there, staring off into the distance. However, once she grew tired of that home, or if you were unlucky enough to be a person she did not like, trouble was sure to follow you. One woman reported that Amanda would scratch at the glass case that she was put in, or would move to various points in the house despite the woman living alone. Another incident, she found scratches all down her legs in the middle of the night, and Amanda sitting in a chair not too far away, just staring at her.
Creepy.
Number 7.
I like
Amelia,
it.
the haunted doll.
That's a messed up
Amelia
doll.
was originally a gift from the King of Italy
Dang, dang,
to
dang.
the daughter of the captain of the Royal Guard over 100 years ago. She was cherished dearly and managed to survive both world wars with the loss of both her arms and a bit of her head. Despite
I
the
can see
fact the
that.
condition she was in, she was always rescued from the rubble of war. The last time she was rescued, the woman who uncovered her was fatally wounded and is said to have taken up residence in the doll. You can sometimes see the doll blink and hear a voice box call for her mama, despite the voice box being completely broken.
Ignore that.
Number 6. Haunted Barbie. During World War II, both the English and
Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. My sister liked Barbies, right, Serena? You used to like Barbies?
Yeah.
There's the one that said Haunted Barbies. You want to see it?
I'm busy.
Okay. Let's continue.
Germans disliked each other greatly, and both wanted the other out of their country and to colonies they had settled.
Oh no, what are you doing?
One German
yeah, I forgot
family
you're
who
painting.
owned a coffee plantation in Singapore were being seized and rounded up for questioning, had a daughter who managed to escape into the woods behind their home. Unfortunately, she fell from a cliff and died. To keep the spirit from becoming an angry one, the villagers built the girl a shrine and prayed to her. The lady, Natok Kong Shrine. There, they had first a simple altar with the cross she wore around her neck when she had died. An Australian man reported to have had a recurring dream 3 nights in a row. A small girl would lead him into a store and show him a doll and asked him to buy it for her and place it at the
You're
Lady
sounding like
Natok
an noise,
Kong
and I
Shrine,
can barely hear the
her
story.
shrine. He would do as the girl had told him to
Mostly
do.
the video. God
Just
damn
on
it.
a whim, and to his surprise, the exact doll was there. Everything was as his dream had looked. He brought it to a shrine, and it is said that
No.
she answers people's prayers for
No.
good health and whispers thank you when
Yeah.
people leave her offerings. Number 5.
God damn it, I thought it was
Baby.
over. Baby.
Baby is a red-headed
Baby.
porcelain doll that
Okay,
has become
I'm sorry.
a collector's
I was gonna sing
item
the
for
Justin
the
Bieber
haunted
song.
doll collector Janice Poole.
I like the eyes staring
She
at me
wanted to
right now.
prove to the world of the paranormal existence of haunted dolls, and once she brought home Baby, she knew that it would become the star attraction. It wasn't until Baby arrived that her home became more active. Loud giggling, slamming of doors, keys being placed in different areas. The typical misconduct
Sorry.
you hear from
I
haunted
giggle.
dolls.
I don't know
So
why.
what made this any different? After having the house blessed,
I just like
things
watching
only seemed to get
scary
worse.
videos. You know this.
One night, Janice heard a loud
I
bang from the
do.
attic and went to
You didn't watch
investigate.
Krampus, and I
But
did.
upon arriving, she found it hard to breathe, like she was being
It's
suffocated.
a
As the
scary.
world turned
Let me
dark,
pause this. It's a scary movie for Christmas. Krampus, the
Oh yeah, I know.
opposite of Santa. Yeah, let's go back.
she saw an image of a rather large
Yeah.
man whispering something very sinister.
I
She
did.
couldn't make
It's on
out what
demand.
he was
It's really
saying,
scary.
but after,
Yeah, I
she
did.
could hear a little girl screaming
Yeah, it
behind
was
the door.
scary.
Moments
I liked
later,
it.
the man leaves, and all that is left is the body of the little girl, dead. And in her hands is a little red-headed porcelain doll. Perhaps Baby is the spirit of the little girl inside her, wanting to find a murderer. Janice is stopping at nothing to find out more about Baby's origins.
And
Number
that's
4.
not gonna work.
Robert the Doll.
You're not really a good
Robert,
drawer.
given his name from his original owner, Robert Eugene Otto, is said to be a haunted doll located in the Key West area. He looks like an early 20th
I am
century
crazy.
Navy soldier holding a stuffed lion.
But I could draw better than you.
Was given the doll by a disgruntled servant who was well versed in black magic and voodoo.
Okay.
Apparently, the servant was
I can't
angry
argue
with
with
the
that.
family for their treatment and opted to give Eugene a cursed doll as repayment. Soon,
I don't
it was
care.
apparent that there was something wrong with the doll. Eugene could be heard talking to the doll, and they heard the doll talk back. Of course, at first they assumed it was just the child talking back for the doll in a different voice. Later, their stories changed as stranger and stranger things happened. Their neighbors swore they saw the doll moving from window to window when the family was gone. Other times, the doll would giggle a most awful giggle. Even the family saw it running in between rooms. In the middle of the night, Eugene would scream. His parents would rush to his aid and find that furniture would be knocked over and things scattered about. When questioned, he would scream, "Robert did it!" When Eugene died, Robert was left in the attic until a new family moved in. A 10-year-old girl would become Robert's new owner, not for long. For Robert, in the middle of the night, would move about and often try to attack her. The young girl claimed that the doll was out to kill her, and that he was very much alive.
I just feel that he was wearing a sailor boat, and I'm gonna pause this. Okay, I'm gonna pause it right now. Okay, we're back. I had to pause it because I hate when it does that.
Number 3. Juliet, the haunted and cursed doll.
Okay, that's creepy. You can see the
To be
crack.
haunted
The eyes are
and
yellow.
cursed, fate must not be on your side. Juliet belongs to one family
No.
and has been in this family
I
for
don't know.
4
Okay, I'm gonna.
generations, and 4 souls to be trapped inside of Juliet.
That's
Anna
a baby
G,
doll. I know.
as she would like to be known, had a great-grandmother who first acquired Juliet as a pregnancy gift. She had no idea of what nightmare that she would be bestowing on a family. When her great-grandmother had her first child, it was a boy, and when he was born, he was healthy. Little did Anna's great-grandmother know, 3 days later an illness would take him from her, and she would be left with Juliet. In the middle of the night, she could hear a baby crying, heart-wrenching for a mother to hear after losing a child. But when she realized that they were not hallucinations, and that they were in fact coming from the doll, Anna's great-grandmother was horrified. She couldn't get rid of the doll as it was her son in there. She could recognize the cries as her son's. Years later, she would have a daughter, and she would pass on the doll, and little did she know, the curse as well. 4 generations cursed to have a boy, only to die 3 days later with a mysterious illness, and then be trapped inside of Juliet. All different babies crying within Juliet late in the night to remind them of the boys they lost.
No. It's a very good story, anyways.
This one?
No. I'm not talking about the movie. I'm talking about this video.
2. Caroline. Caroline is another porcelain doll that is said to be haunted, though it is said that she's haunted not by one spirit, but by 3. Unlike Juliet, this is not under sad or disheartening
Because they were disgusting, okay?
circumstances. Each one of the spirits may fight for
Well, I don't say
control
that.
on who gets to haunt Caroline, but they are spirits who have had loved Caroline and owned her previously. She never threatens anyone or causes any bodily harm. Instead, she plays little pranks like moving things around, hiding books behind bookcases, putting candles in the oven, hiding things in odd places. And when she did speak, once, she simply said, "Make it you," which the owner at the time took it as her wishing him good luck.
God damn it, I thought it was over.
And number 1, Annabelle. Annabelle is perhaps the more famous of all the cursed dolls, as she has been featured in the movie The Conjuring. Though the
Yeah, I can
events of
tell
the
you that.
movie have been exaggerated, it is based on
No.
some truths.
The video right
Annabelle
now.
is a real doll, and the Warrens are real
I know it's not a
people.
lie.
They have a real collection of cursed objects, Annabelle being a part of it. However, she is not a porcelain doll as it was depicted in the film. She is a classic Raggedy Ann doll that is child-sized. Annabelle was bought as a birthday present for a graduating nurse. Donna, the nurse, had no idea what kind of horrors she was going to be in for. She would leave Annabelle tossed on the bed while she went out, but soon realized something was amiss. The doll's position would move. Hands and legs would be crossed when they would be thrown out, and vice versa. Soon, Donna and her roommate, Angie, would notice that Annabelle would even appear in different rooms when she was left in the bedroom. Or worse, when they would open the door and find the doll appearing to be frozen, standing or leaning against the chair, as if it was just caught walking, and it was playing a game of red light, green light. That's only the tip of the iceberg of paranormal activity, however. Donna and Angie would come home and find little pieces of parchment, specifically parchment paper with messages like,
Stop making those
"Help
noises,
us," or
Sabrina.
"Help Lou," scribbled in childlike handwriting. Aside from unnerving scribbles, Donna and her roommate had no parchment in the apartment for anyone to write that, Lou being their friend that would occasionally come over. When the doll started to have blood drops on it, they called for a medium who told them that a little girl ghost was haunting them, but that it was friendly and
I
wanted
don't
to
really care about
inhabit
your
the doll
drawing.
because she was scared and had died in the apartment complex.
Don't
They
throw it.
agreed, being nurses who cared a little too much and thought nothing horrible would come of this.
Oh, God.
Lou was not convinced. When the ghost took over the doll, he felt an even darker presence in the nurse's home. Lou advised Donna to get rid of the doll, but she of course refused. Later that night, Lou found himself waking up in the middle of the night, unable to move. Looking down to his feet, he saw the doll climbing over him and began strangling him.
It's
He
been
was
8 years
unable
for
to
that
move or
doll.
defend himself. His world went black and passed out. The next evening, he went to Donna's apartment to plan for their road trip, keeping the previous events to himself for now. That was when the noises started shuffling from Donna's room. Lou went to investigate, and upon entering the room found no one but Annabelle. Turning to leave, he was cut 7 times across the chest, claw-like marks diagonally and horizontally across his chest. That was when Donna was convinced that something more sinister was happening, and for that, the Warrens were called. It took no time for the Warrens to discover that it was no ghost that the trio of young adults were dealing with, but in fact a demon, an evil spirit. It was using the doll to trick them into thinking it was possessed by a ghost of a small girl to gain their trust and soon attempt to possess them. Quickly, they exorcised the demon from the home but took the doll with them. But it seems the demon would not let go of the doll, and while on their way back home, the Warrens would lose their brakes and power steering multiple times during sharp turns or near other, much bigger cars. Until, of course, Ed Warren dosed Annabelle with holy water, and there she remained still until they returned home. In their home, a special glass case was made for Annabelle that reads, "Warning, positively do not open," as she still sometimes moves and is still very dangerous.
Well, this is a creepy and really good story. I like it. Scary. He went to be in my dreams. Bah, 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 rah, rah, rah. So this is all, guys. I hope you enjoy this kind of scary video. If you guys think it's scary, so see ya and goodbye.